Search terms are the words or phrases entered into a search engine. Your choice of terms influences the relevance of results and the exhaustiveness of the search. To choose search terms productively, follow these steps. Unpack the research question, focus on the 2 or 3 most important concepts, and then collect terminology for each concept. Step 1. Unpack the main concepts in the research question. The PICO framework helps identify the fundamental and searchable concepts of a question. What is the problem, disease, or condition? Alternatively, who is the patient? What is the intervention? What is the comparison intervention? And what is the anticipated outcome or improvement? Here's an example question. For patients with a history of heart attacks, is aspirin more effective than other antiplatelet aggregators in preventing further heart attacks? Unpacking this question, the PICO concepts are heart attack, aspirin, antiplatelet aggregators, and prevention. These concepts establish the foundation of the literature search. PICO is suited for research questions examining interventions. For non-intervention studies, you might replace the intervention concept with exposure. Additional frameworks are available for identifying main concepts. Which one you choose depends on your field, the topic of the study, and the research methods used. If your question does not fit a framework neatly, then skip a concept if necessary. Step 2. After identifying the main ideas behind the question, focus on the 2 or 3 most important concepts. Begin the search with as few concepts as possible. By focusing on essential ideas, the search can be more inclusive, which minimizes potential bias in the results. In general, start with the P and I concepts. The problem, patient, and intervention concepts are more likely to appear in the title and abstract of a research paper. Additionally, these concepts tend to be better organized with controlled vocabulary in databases. Searching too many concepts at once runs the risk of excluding a potentially relevant publication. However, if a search retrieves an excessive number of results, then consider adding more concepts from your question. Step 3. After picking out essential ideas, we now collect terminology for each concept. Gather the various words and phrases used to express the concept. For example, heart attack is a concept that also appears in the literature as myocardial infarction and AMI for acute myocardial infarction. There are several benefits to searching with different terminology. Using variant terms facilitates a comprehensive search, which helps find outliers in the literature, reduces the risk of missing relevant works, and minimizes search bias. This typology illustrates 3 approaches to compiling different search terms for each concept. First, we can generate related terms for each idea. Next, gather terms from published sources. Lastly, contact experts for suggestions. These methods incorporate 21 techniques in total. In the first category, generate related terms by exploring 4 types of word relationships. There are terms related by meaning. This type includes words that have the same or similar meaning, such as synonyms, closely related concepts, and different terms used to describe fuzzy concepts. Next, explore terms related by grammar. This category includes different word forms, such as the verb, noun, adjective, plus adverb forms, and plurals. Additionally, generate terms related by style. This type includes acronyms, abbreviations, and different spellings, professional or research jargon, slang or vernacular terms, historical terms, and frequent spelling errors. Finally, generate terms related by category. Mainly, there are umbrella terms and specific terms. For example, heart disease is an umbrella term encompassing particular conditions such as these. In the second approach to compiling search terms, gather terms from published sources like these. The first source is publications. Examine the language in relevant articles. What words and expressions are used? Check the keywords assigned by authors to the paper. Lastly, mine the search strategies of past systematic reviews for potential search terms. The second published source is databases. When you find a relevant result in a database, review the controlled vocabulary assigned to that article. Look up the thesaurus record of a controlled vocabulary term to find alternative expressions. And execute a truncation search for word stems in the database. Lastly, use background sources to identify other terms and expressions. The definitions and summaries given in textbooks, encyclopedias, dictionaries, and similar works can be helpful. In the third approach for compiling search terms, contact experts. Ask for suggested terms from practitioners, researchers, and other experts in the field. Share your research question and the preliminary search strategy for their review. Preventing bias in search terms will yield more objective and inclusive search results. Consequently, balance highly specialized or specific terminology with broader common terms. Furthermore, avoid terminology associated with a particular outcome or result. Also, consider the opposite of a concept. For example, when searching for survival, articles about mortality may be relevant. A word of caution: databases use different controlled vocabulary systems. If you're switching databases, you may need to translate your controlled vocabulary to find equivalent terms in the other system. In summary, there are 3 steps to compiling terms for a comprehensive search. First, pick apart the main concepts of the research question using a framework like PICO. Next, start your search with the 2 or 3 most important concepts. Using fewer ideas will help you see a comprehensive range of results. In general, begin with the patient, problem, and intervention concepts. Lastly, be creative in collecting different terminology to express your research concepts. Using a variety of words and expressions may minimize the risk of excluding a relevant study.